Hi, welcome to History Insider. I appreciate taking some time to watch this video and hopefully you learned something. If you like this video, please hit the like and the subscribe button and help me grow the channel and do more of these videos. I am not a historian. I am not a history major. I'm someone who likes history, have read a lot, and I appreciate especially the little things in history that you just don't know about, you don't learn about in books, and you don't learn about in school. So hopefully you enjoy this. Today we're going to talk about President Ulysses Simpson Grant. For those that don't know, Ulysses Simpson Grant was a general in the United States Army during the U.S. Civil War, and he is primarily known for his defeat of Robert E. Lee and the Army of Northern Virginia. His defeat of Robert E. Lee was kind of the last tipping point that led to the surrender of the South. After the Civil War, he ran for presidency of the United States and was elected to 2 terms as President of the United States. What's interesting was his name is not Ulysses Simpson Grant. Ulysses Simpson Grant was actually born Hiram Ulysses Grant, named after his grandfather and a Greek mythological hero. He did not like the name Hiram. One of the reasons was as he was getting older, he was teased with the nickname of Huge, Hiram Ulysses Grant, so H-U-G, and he didn't like that. So for the first 17 years of his life, he went by the name Ulysses. It was a series of strange circumstances that actually ended up with the name Ulysses Simpson Grant. Ulysses Simpson Grant did not plan on going to West Point. He actually didn't want to go. His father wanted him to go. And in the 1800s, West Point was a very good option for someone who might not have the ability to go to college. West Point was a very good school, and graduates of West Point could go on to have distinguished military careers and opportunities that they might not have had otherwise. In Grant's case, the way the story goes is he was appointed to West Point by Congressman Thomas Hammer. Thomas Hammer was a friend of the family, knew Grant's mother and father, and Grant's father had submitted his application to West Point through Congressman Hammer. Now, the story that I've read is that initially there was somebody else actually ahead of Grant on the list to go to West Point that Congressman Hammer was going to appoint, and that as the term got close and it was time for them to report to West Point, or getting close for them to report to West Point, that the person that was actually going to be appointed to West Point had some issues with their grades and would have to go to a prep school for a year. And so Congressman Hammer, not wanting to lose that appointment, rapidly got the paperwork together to appoint Ulysses S. Grant to West Point. Congressman Hammer did not have all of the information to quickly do the paperwork, and being the 1800s, he just couldn't pick up the phone and call Grant's family and get clarification or make sure that the paperwork was accurate. Now, he knew that Ulysses went by the name Ulysses because that's what he was called. He did not know that Ulysses was actually the middle name. He did not know that Hiram was his first name. And he knew that Grant's mother's maiden name was Simpson. So he made an assumption that Grant's full name was Ulysses Simpson Grant. And that's the way he filled out the paperwork for the appointment to West Point. Now, there's several stories that are out there, and I read Grant's autobiography, and I've read some other things about him, and there's variations of the story, but basically Grant took the appointment, showed up at West Point, and at some point said, hey, I'm here, but there's an issue with my paperwork. My name is actually Hiram Ulysses Grant, and he wanted to go by Ulysses Hiram Grant, but the people at West Point said, well, that's all neat and dandy, that's all fine and dandy, but this appointment is for Ulysses Simpson Grant, and if Hiram Ulysses Grant wants to go to West Point, he's going to have to get an appointment. So Grant just kept the name Ulysses Simpson Grant. So now that Grant had to keep the name Ulysses Simpson Grant, he used it the rest of his life. He was known as Ulysses Simpson Grant. To many of his friends at West Point, they actually just called him Sam, kind of a play on his middle name, Simpson, and the initial S. As he rose to the ranks and gained a reputation as a general during the Civil War, he gained a reputation for ruthlessness and the willingness to do anything to win a battle. One of the nicknames he was known by was Unconditional Surrender Grant. After the Civil War, he ran for the presidency of the United States and was elected and sworn in as Ulysses Simpson Grant, and even his autobiography is he uses the name Ulysses Simpson Grant. So kind of a neat little insight into one of the main characters of the U.S. Civil War and former president of the United States. Please, if you like this video, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button. If you have any comments you want to make, please let me know so I can make these videos better. And I appreciate your time. Thank you very much.